Beneath the calm forests and quiet cities of the Pacific Northwest lies a chain of giants, towering snow-covered peaks that have shaped the land for thousands of years and could one day reshape it again in an instant. This is the Cascade Range. From Northern California to British Columbia, these volcanoes stand tall over millions of people. To most, they seem serene, even eternal. But silence in geology doesn't mean safety. In 1980, Mount St. Helens exploded with the power of hundreds of atomic bombs. Entire forests were leveled. Ash darkened the skies. The event stunned the nation and proved just how dangerous a single Cascade volcano could be. And there are more than a dozen of them. Lately, faint warnings, earthquake swarms, shifting ground, gas seeping from hidden vents have begun to ripple beneath their surface. Are the Cascades waking up? Let's take a closer look. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit subscribe and like this video. It's the best way to support the channel and keep these stories coming. The Cascade volcanoes exist because of one of Earth's most dramatic processes, subduction. Just off the coast, the Juan de Fuca Plate is slowly diving beneath the massive North American plate. As it sinks deep into the mantle, water and gases escape, lowering the melting point of surrounding rock. That melting rock turns into magma, and magma always seeks a way out. The result? A chain of volcanoes stretching more than 700 miles. Each one fueled by the same process, each one with the potential to erupt. Among them are giants like Mount Shasta and Lassen Peak in California, Mount Hood, Mount St. Helens, and Mount Rainier in Washington. Most are stratovolcanoes, steep, towering mountains built layer by layer with lava, ash, and debris. Unlike Hawaii's shield volcanoes, which flow gently, these are explosive, violent, and unpredictable. Their eruptions can bury cities, darken skies, and reshape entire landscapes. This combination of explosive potential, dense populations nearby, and limited public awareness makes the Cascades one of the most dangerous volcanic chains in the world. History reminds us that these mountains are not dormant. They're active, and when they erupt, the results are catastrophic. The most infamous example came on May 18, 1980, when Mount St. Helens blew apart. After months of rumbling and swelling, the north flank collapsed in the largest landslide ever recorded. What followed was a lateral blast so powerful it scorched 230 square miles of forest in minutes. Ash rose 15 miles into the atmosphere, grounding plains across the U.S. Ashfall reached as far as Oklahoma. The eruption unleashed energy equivalent to hundreds of nuclear bombs. 57 lives were lost, and the damage ran into the billions. Then, in 2004, Mount St. Helens stirred again. Lava oozed into its crater for more than 3 years, slowly building a new dome. Less explosive, yes, but a chilling reminder that the volcano was still alive. Other Cascade peaks have their own violent pasts. Mount Rainier, the highest volcano in the range, has erupted many times in the last 10,000 years. Mount Hood erupted just over 200 years ago. Mount Shasta has erupted repeatedly in the last 4,000 years. And Mount Mazama's colossal eruption 7,700 years ago created Crater Lake, one of the most iconic landscapes in North America. These mountains have erupted before, and they will erupt again. In recent years, subtle signs have returned. In early 2025, a swarm of small earthquakes rattled beneath Mount Adams. too small to feel, but enough to draw the attention of scientists. Mount St. Helens continues to show low-level seismic activity, as it has since its last eruption in 2008. Even Mount Rainier and Mount Hood record occasional tremors. Nothing unusual on their own, but reminders that magma still stirs beneath. Right now, these events aren't signals of an imminent eruption, but the Cascades are unpredictable. Activity can escalate quickly, and when it does, warning time may be short. Scientists agree on one thing: another major eruption in the Cascades is inevitable. The only question is when. Mount Rainier is often called the most dangerous volcano in the United States, not only because of its size, but because it's covered in massive glaciers. Even a small eruption could melt enough ice to unleash lahars, torrents of mud and debris that roar down valleys like rivers of concrete. Entire communities would have less than an hour to escape. More than 80,000 lives are at risk. Mount Hood looms just 50 miles from Portland. Mount Shasta towers near communities in Northern California. Both could unleash chaos on nearby cities, highways, and water supplies. Even a moderate eruption would cover towns in ash and disrupt everyday life. If Mount St. Helens erupted again, the scars of 1980, unstable terrain, weakened valleys, could amplify the destruction with flooding, ashfall, and landslides. And then there are the quieter giants: Glacier Peak, Mount Baker, the Three Sisters. Lesser known, but no less capable of violent eruptions. The hazards include pyroclastic flows, deadly lahars, and thick ash clouds. The impacts would ripple across the economy, shutting down airports, crippling power grids, destroying crops, and costing tens of billions of dollars. Even a small eruption here wouldn't be small at all. Thankfully, these volcanoes are being watched closely. The U.S. Geological Survey runs the Cascades Volcano Observatory in Washington, where teams of scientists monitor every tremor, every bulge of the land, every puff of gas. Networks of seismometers, GPS sensors, gas detectors, and satellites track the volcanoes in real time. Advances in artificial intelligence and satellite imagery are making it easier than ever to detect changes as they happen. Communities at risk now run evacuation drills. Hazard maps are shared with residents. Awareness has improved since 1980, but funding and resources are still stretched thin, especially in remote areas. And no matter how advanced the tools, volcanic prediction will always carry uncertainty. When the ground starts to shake, decisions must be made quickly. Preparedness can mean the difference between survival and catastrophe. The Cascade volcanoes are not dead. They are active, powerful, and waiting. Their history proves that silence is temporary. Another eruption will come, maybe in decades, maybe sooner. And with climate change accelerating glacial melt, slopes may become more unstable, increasing the chances of landslides and lahars. Meanwhile, urban sprawl pushes communities closer into hazard zones. We know what these volcanoes can do. We've seen the destruction before. The real question is, when the next eruption comes, will we be ready? Because these mountains don't ask permission. They don't give second chances. What do you think? Are we prepared for the next big eruption in the Cascades? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.